Hey guys, Marissa at KitchenTableStamper.com. Today I have this beautiful "Oh Darling, You Are Fabulous" note card. It's got tons of dimension and texture with this beautiful sprig punch and a leaf punch, this lacy die cut here from the Springtime Impressions Thinlits, the tulle ribbon, the three-step stamping of these beautiful roses. It's just a very feminine and beautiful card. You'll be surprised how easy it is. All right, let's get started with the Stampin' Up! Supplies that you need to make this fabulous card. First, I use the Abstract Impressions bundle from Stampin' Up! 2018-19 catalog. This is a brand new bundle, and we're going to use the rosette stamps and the Springtime Impressions, this kind of floral lace die. Isn't that gorgeous? Wait till you see the detail we're gonna get when we cut that. I'm also using the Stitched All Around bundle. We're going to use this "Oh Darling, You're Fabulous" sentiment and the Stitched Labels framelits dies for this gorgeous eyelet lace framelit here for our greeting. I've got my leaf punch and this brand new sprig punch. The sprig will be available from the new holiday catalog, 2018 holiday catalog. I've mentioned that we've got a little bit of the polka dot tulle ribbon. This is Whisper White polka dot tulle, about 8 inches or so will do. My stampin' pads are Melon Mambo and Tuxedo Black. And for consumable supplies, I have half a sheet of Whisper White. This is 8.5 by 5.5. We've got lots of little pieces that are Whisper White. Got a soft seafoam card base. This is a standard card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of the Wood Textures Designer Series paper. This is 2 inches by 4 1/4. I have scraps of shaded spruce and soft seafoam. These are 5.5 by 2.5. All right, I'm going to grab my die cut machine. We're gonna get the Big Shot and do our die cutting first. Okay, so my Big Shot's here all set up for die cutting. I'm going to put my sheet of Whisper White cardstock into the machine, and then I'm going to lay the floral lace piece on the platform all the way to the far right corner of my Whisper White. And then I'm going to put my little label right there next to. We're going to use some of the rest of the scrap for our stamping, so we want to make sure that we make efficient use of our cardstock. We need to get 3 rosettes out of here too. We'll have plenty of cardstock. So you'll see that I ran the 2 dies through forward. Now I'm going to crank it back and I'm going to run them through backwards. It's not usually necessary, but because of the detail on these dies, I don't want to take any chances. I want them to cut nice and clean. They're so beautiful. We should see all the detail. So that cut very clean. Pull it right out of there. Look at that label. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the stitch detail. We're gonna pop that over here on the die brush. I've got the die brush and mat right next to the machine here. All right. There we go. There's our beautiful little floral lace cutout. Let's get it out of the die. And we're gonna drop that on this die brush mat also. So now we're going to brush these parts, and you'll see that all the little bits and pieces will for the most part just fall right out. It really does cut a nice clean, make a nice clean cut most of the time. And then any pieces that are not just coming out with the gentle rolling in different directions, we're going to take our Take Your Pick tool and just push them right through with the die brush mat underneath so we don't do any damage to anything. I'm going to do the same thing with this little label piece here. Make sure I get all those little dudes out of there. Pop out the ones that are being a little stubborn, and then I'll cut right back in. Okay, I've brushed and picked my detailed dies. I love the die brush. Most of the mess is maintained right on the little mat there. Keeps the mess to a minimum. You can just pop that right into the trash bin now. And we're ready to finish up this card here. I'm gonna get my Stampin' Pierce mat and some scratch paper, along with my Melon Mambo ink and my Memento Tuxedo Black. And we're gonna take this piece that's left from our die cuts and our rosette image. We want the tightest, smallest detail stamp, and we're going to stamp 3 of these with Melon Mambo on our scratch paper. Then we're going to take this more dispersed image. It's a little bit fuller lines. We're going to ink up real well with Melon Mambo, stamp off one time, and then stamp over on top of our darker details. And you're going to see we're going to build 3 shades of Melon Mambo on top of each other. 3 shades of Melon Mambo ink with just one Stampin' pad. So there's our second generation. And then you can see the details where the darker, finer lines are full strength and these more dispersed lines are that second generation. Now for this fully dispersed, this big wide petal image, we're going to ink that up really well. I think my pad could use a little ink. We're going to stamp off twice and then stamp over the whole rosette flower, creating a 3rd shade of Melon Mambo. All right, stamp off twice, and then over the top. Look at those beautiful little rosettes. I love the depth of shade and color that we're getting here. We're going to stamp off twice, and then over the top, allowing the ink to transfer. There they are. Aren't they beautiful? They really come to life with all their depth. All right, we'll set them aside and let them dry for a minute, and then we're going to cut them out. Next up is our sentiment. So we've got our Whisper White label here, and oh darling, you are fabulous. Get a good coat of Tuxedo Black on there. And we're going to stamp this up top and to the right of center. We want to leave some space on this label because our flowers are going to overlap it, and we want to still read our sentiment. There it is, the sample back in here. Now I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to cut each of these little rosettes out, and I'm going to leave just a little hair of white around the edge and just turn the rosette in the scissor. I'm going to cut out all 3 of these and then I'll cut back in. Okay, our Abstract Impressions rosettes are all trimmed out. Let's grab some multi-purpose liquid glue and a snail. And let's put this card together. We're going to simplify some layers first. Let's see here. I like the other side. It's a little bit darker. I like the contrast that these darker Wood Textures Designer Series papers bring. So we're going to line that up all the way at the bottom of the page. Then we'll take some multi-purpose liquid glue. And we're going to add our beautiful floral lace here. I missed one little cutout. There we go. And with this one, I like to take the multi-purpose liquid glue and kind of drag the tip while applying light pressure to the tube. We want very thin coverage. I got a little bit of a clog there. We want very thin coverage so that it doesn't ooze out from in between these delicate little pieces. All right, you really just want to spread the glue around. I like to get at the corners here. It's like a triangle, so I'm going to go a little heavier on all the points, and then I'll just dot on the edges of all 3 sides. And a couple of little dots in the center. It doesn't take a lot of glue for this piece, and it's going to be layered underneath the rosettes and the leaves so that'll further secure it. A little bit of glue will go a long way on this decorative piece. Now we're going to line this up so that it's in the corner, about 1/8 of an inch from the edge, maybe 3/16, not as far as 1/4 of an inch from the edge. Ooh, it's so pretty. I hate to cover it up, but I do like the little texture that it adds to the card. So we're going to now put some snail on our label and adhere that all the way to the edge of the card, making sure that it's level. And then my little rosettes, we're going to put one of them with a little bit of dimensional adhesive on the back. I'm just grabbing some Stampin' Dimensionals and cutting them in half. And then I'm going to put 2 or 3 on the back here, maybe 3, like a 3-legged stool. That one's going to go on the very corner of our greeting. Now, before we start adhering anything, let's do some punching. We need 4 leaf punches. We don't need the entire stem on these. It's okay to cut them a little bit short. Conserve your paper that way. We need 4 of this leaf altogether. Now we're going to take the shaded spruce and the sprig, and we're going to punch out 3 of those. Just love these 2 punches together. Now I'm going to take my corner rosette, the one with the dimensional adhesive on it, and I'm going to add just a streak of the multi-purpose liquid glue. I'm kind of going to dry fit the way I want that flower to sit, and I'm going to tuck the leaves against the back of the flower in that multi-purpose liquid glue. I want this leaf to peek out a little bit more. I think it needs a little twist. There we go. I'm pretty happy with that. Now we're going to add some multi-purpose liquid glue to the back of one of our rosettes. Tuck that one in about where we want it to land. We don't want to cover our sentiment at all, so you might have to do a little bit of rotating on the flowers there so that everything stays within the boundaries of the card, and so that it also stays off of the sentiment. So I've got some multi-purpose liquid glue on my sprig. I'm going to tuck that guy in there. Put a little multi-purpose liquid glue on the stem of my leaf and tuck that guy in there. Next, another rosette. We're going to do kind of the same thing on the bottom part of the card here. I want it to come right up to our fabulous greeting. Well, we can tack it down, but you don't want to burnish it yet because we're still going to grab the sprigs, add a little multi-purpose liquid glue to the back. Then you're going to tuck those right underneath. And our last little set of leaves, multi-purpose liquid glue kind of on the stem there, and tuck those guys in. All right, I like the way this is coming together. Now lastly, we've got another sprig here, our last one. A little multi-purpose liquid glue. We want that one coming off the corner. And we can peel the dimensionals on our first flower and get that back in there where we had it dry fit. Making sure that the leaves don't go off the edge of the card. There it is. Look at how pretty. Okay, one more little thing here. We're going to do some embellishment. I've got some tulle ribbon here. You don't need a lot. About 8 inches will probably do you. I'm at the end of a roll. You want to start when you make your bow with the tulle ribbon with a very small tail, because you are going to see that grow as you finesse. So pull it back and form a really pretty bow. The little blocked dots on this ribbon like to cause a stop at the center, so don't pull your center real tight until you like the shape of your bow and the size of your bow. When you've got the shape and size that you like, then you can pull that center tight, because you're not going to have much room to finesse once the knot in the center is tight. Because of the blocked polka dots, they're actually raised up and they catch in there and it won't continue to pull. All right, so there's our little bow. I love it. And all we need now is a mini glue dot, and we will have accomplished our mission. Oh, darling, you are fabulous. All right, there it is. Oh, darling, you're fabulous. If you've got any questions about the product, the project, if there's anything I can do to help you stay crafty, email me, Marisa@kitchentablestamper.com. Thanks for watching.